Well guys, we're heading down to the shop this morning. Waited around here in town there for the guys to open their doors so we could get some parts. Which I hate getting started. It's a, 35-minute drive. So by the time I get my parts and get out of the parts store at 8:30, and I don't get down to the shop till 9 o'clock, and that just drives me crazy. I feel like I'm not getting anything done. So then I feel like I need to stay till 8 or 9 o'clock at night to make it feel like I put in a full day and actually got something accomplished. But we're gonna go down there and disassemble that Kubota engine, pull the air compressor off of it, and disassemble the Kubota engine and strip the block clear down and get it ready to go to the machine shop. I'd like to know from you guys what you guys think, if you guys got any experiences with the Kubota tractors. I know that I'm not too thrilled with them, to be honest with you. We got two customers that have them that I know of, and that I deal with all the time. And one customer has two of them. They're a cattle ranch, and they lost the engine on one at like 2,300 hours or something like that, and the transmission, the power shift on the other one at like 2,500 hours. And my other customer has got one that he's got about 5,000 hours on, but he lost his engine at 2,500 hours, and he's been through the power shift twice, and I've done the power shift 2 times on it. Well, the first time, the shuttle, it's got a forward and reverse clutch pack right there in the front of the transmission. That went out the first time. He lost forward, and the O-ring and the piston seal went out, and then it slipped the clutch back and burned it up. Now we attributed part of that problem was his fault, because those tractors got gear pumps, they're open center, and he was running a twin star rake, and he had his valve on close center. He was partly to blame on that one. He got the oil so hot in that thing, he baked all his seals. But we resealed everything. We took the whole transmission apart, checked everything, resealed everything, and about another 2,000 hours after that, he lost the 1 to 4 pack. It's like it's 1 to 4. So he lost all his low range gears. So, I don't know. And then the other thing that and it was my fault, I screwed up, but the second time I did his power shift, when I put it back together, it didn't have any four-wheel drive. And long story short, there's a key that goes in a shaft that runs a clutch hub in there for the full drive, and I forgot to put the key in there. So the shaft was just spinning inside the hub. Well, any other tractor in the world, you could just pull the front drive line out of there and pull the mechanical front wheel drive clutch pack out the bottom of the case, on a floor jack, and fix it, put it back in there, hour, 2-hour job. What big deal, Well, not this tractor. The cab has to come off. This was an M126X, by the way. Cab has to come off, has to be split, double split. Transmission has to be separated from the rear end housing, and disassemble that whole transmission to get that key in there. I mean, what a pain in the ass. Yeah, 60 hours of work I did. I didn't charge the guy a damn dime. 60 hours of work for nothing, for one key. So, yeah, it's lovely when you get into a deal like that. Makes you want to really, really, really triple check everything when you're going back together with it. But yeah, if you guys got any horror stories, or you got good things to say about them, I'm all ears, Yeah, we got our crane hooked up, got a block of wood up underneath the bell housing to kind of balance this thing and get this air compressor off of here. No telling what you're going to see on this channel. Work on just damn near anything, I guess. Whatever pays the bills. I got an air ratchet, it's 3/8 drive. I guess I could put my adapter on here. Boy, after you start losing them electric tools, you don't really want to go back to air. Man, those new electric tools sure are nice. A lot of power, they're not so damn noisy, and you don't have to listen to, well, in the service truck, you don't have to listen. I bet I've cut down the compressor use on that service truck since I started buying them electric impacts. Oh man, at least 50%. Last a little longer. Damn it, am I gonna have to pull this mount off? It's kind of looking that way, huh? And my chain's wrapped around the mount, which I didn't realize that. So we can't have that. They got holding on just one big bolt right in the middle of it. Now let's take the tension off. Chain there, and let's figure out what we got to do to remedy that situation. I get a socket up in there. It feels like it's about 24 millimeters, what it feels like. Okay, let's get the electric impact. Let's get the whole damn socket set out. Like old Steve West said in the comments, sometimes that's just the thing to do. Just get the whole damn set. Quit walking back and forth. I'm gonna get this compressor off, see if I can rig this engine here up to the engine stand. This little guy ought to go on the engine stand somehow. 24 millimeter, okay. Well, I've told everybody around here that I usually go out of my way to get them going. Yeah, and I am right now. I'm working 7 days a week. But here on the 19th, we're going to Texas to visit some family down there for Thanksgiving, and I'm going hell or high water. So we'll do the best we can to get what we can done. There's only so much a guy can do. A guy's got to take a little time for himself every once in a while, you know. Oh, that mount's offset in there too, so I gotta. The short side goes to the left side on it. Damn it! Come out of there by hand. Course. This thing disassembled and get it stripped, and Monday morning we'll haul it to the run it over to the machine shop. So they can get going on it. Maybe we can get it back in a week or so. This one ain't gonna get done by the time I get back. I can almost guarantee you that. By the time we get the kit and get it. Machine shop's gonna be the holdup. It always is. And them guys are busier than hell. Alright. Let's take that. Put that right there. There we go. Okay. Got that damn thing out of the way now. I'll just get my damn impact wrench in there now. Zip them out of there. Sometimes I don't like using impacts on Allen. Seems like you always strip one out, or I hate Allens. Golly, they're just always problematic. Rounding them out and stuff. Not careful with them. And that one there is going to have to be an extension and come way back here to get that one out. You got it right up against the web there. Go get an extension. Extension's a little long. Damn it. We got her though. Alright. Get the chain wrapped back around this thing so when we get the tension off or the bolts out, it doesn't go crashing to the ground. Be all right there. Yeah, maybe I'll just get my ratchet. It's gonna be too much of an angle. Damn it, the chain is right in the way. Let me re-rig my chain. Get it out of the way. I don't think it's 100 others. There we go. That one there's kind of a pain in the butt. Bell housing and everything off this thing. Alright, she's coming loose. We got oil on this hose. Huh, weird. It's an air hose, I think. An air hose, but it's got oil coming out of it. Coupler this thing's got on it. Alright. Okay. Oh. She's clear loose. Oh, it's just got a little spline coupler on it. Pretty simple. Let's just set it over here somewhere. Now, I'd like to get a block of wood and kind of try to level it out a little bit if I could. Oh, shoot. Oh yes, that's more better. Alright. That's kind of a it's a spline coupler on there, and it's just got a drive hub here. Set up kind of like a bin carrier. The rear main seal's been leaking too, look at that. Alright. Let's take our Allen bolts and stick those back in the bell housing. We're going to end up taking the whole bell housing and everything off. This is a v2403 motor. I'm not real familiar with Kubota engine numbers. They said they called one of the dealers, the John Deere dealers. Why, I don't know why the John Deere dealer would have anything to do with Kubota, but they're not going to rebuild it. They're just going to order a reman engine. I said, sure, if you want to spend $7,000 or $8,000, sure, call them. See if we can do this thing for about probably half or third of the price of what they're going to do it for. Okay, 15 millimeter or 14, I think, on the head's not being held on there by much. I just stuck it back on there because it had a lifting eye on it, and that way I could lift it out of there. I believe we're loose on all of them. Here that's on, let's pop that off. Okay, let's get the head bolt square out of it. Yeah, throw them in the valve cover box here. Push rods and all that shit. Alright. This head don't weigh much. Ain't much to it. I think it's lighter than like a small block. Gently laid on the bumper here. See if I can flip it over and look at it here. Don't want to screw up a tip on an injector. Okay. Got some rags and wipe off the lock neck surface here. Oh, alternator bracket that goes right in there. Yeah, number 2 and 3. Let's get the flashlight and look down in them bores. I'll show you what the damage is. Let's see here, let me get the camera off my head and see if you can see that. Let me try a different. There we go. Yeah, it's all scuffed up. This one here is all scuffed up too. Number 2 looks like to be the worst. They had a leak in their radiator, and they just, instead of fixing it, they just ignored it and let it go. And obviously they got it hot. Now look at this. This is easy. Look at the lifters. They just come out of here. Ah, I'll be damned. Well, that's kind of neat. I don't have a I ordered a service manual for this, but I don't know. I don't think we're going to need it to take it apart. Looks like it's a pretty simple thing to me. Alright, should be 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And we'll get this thing, figure out, we'll get it lifted up and see if we can get it bolted to the engine stand somehow, some way. I don't know if it's going to be possible or not. I don't know if my stand will, well, it'll probably bolt to this bell housing. Yeah, it'll bolt to the bell housing. I'll have to find some long metric bolts. That's going to be my problem, is finding long enough metric bolts to go in there. I'm probably not going to be able to do it unless I go to town and find some metric bolts that long. I got metric bolts in the bolt bin, but they're not going to be long enough to go through the eyes of that engine stand. That's what some guys said. Why don't you use your engine stand? I said, I got 2 engine stands. I said, but every time I don't have the bolts and some of the stuff for all the different. I says, I'm 35, 40 miles away from town. I can't just. I gotta make do. I think it's kind of a shock for some of them that are living right in the middle of town. They can just drive a mile down the road and get what they need. It's a different story out here, man. You got to make do with what you got. Or either that, or you're going to go broke driving back and forth to town every 5 minutes. And we'll zip this coupler off here. Look at those. Those are 1/2 inch. Those are SAE bolts. Huh. There's still has got SAE bolts in it. Throw those lifters in the same hole. Well, that ain't gonna have to have a chrome socket. It's too thick. And I should have that's all 3/8 jive stuff there. Should have a chrome socket here somewhere. Right here, 1/2 inch. And everything's got blue Loctite. Which is good. Just hate it, like on that transfer case today. That guy using red Loctite on them transfer case bolts. Golly, what the hell's the matter with you? I think some of them guys, they just don't know that there's different grades of Loctite, and they just go, give me some Loctite. And the guy behind the parts counter, if he don't know any better, he just gives it to him, and then away this guy goes, and he starts putting that shit on everything. You know as well as I do, red Loctite, about half the time you need heat to get the shit apart. On a transfer case, you don't want that shit on those transfer case bolts. Especially on the top ones where you get about 1/8 of a turn each time. Makes for a really miserable affair trying to get them loose. Get the flywheel off. Come off there. Why not? Oh. Deal here, man. Must be a dowel. Yeah, there's a dowel right there. It's stuck on the dowel. Start her off and push it out from the other side. It's kind of what it's looking like we're going to have to do. That's 13 mm. Where the hell's the 14 at? Right there. Extension. And it's too damn long. We got her. Alright. That's the way a starter ought to be bolted in there. Right where you can get to it. That's the way it ought to be. Putting them bolts up there on them ears where you can't get in there and be able to get it along the back side of this flywheel now and shove the son of a hen out of there. It's still kind of fighting me a little bit here. Huh. Oh, you turkey. Man, that sucker is being a pain in the ass. Never seen a flywheel that hard to get popped off of there. That's crazy. Huh. It's just hung up on that dowel. Well, you know what happens when you get tired of messing with something. Get your hammer out. Hit the bastard. There is a punch. See if we can knock it off of there. There it is. Gee whiz. Okay. Yeah, just stuck on that pilot of that crank and just tighter and shit on there. There, and lay our coupler, turn it right side up, put it on there. Our bolts kind of start them in it. That way if I decide that I'm waiting on parts and I need room somewhere and I move it or something, I don't lose the bolts. Now I can probably see if I can get this thing figured out. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it on the stand or not. I'm going to try. You know, I should stand up and I have to be bent over here on this shit. Well, I said I didn't need a book to take this thing apart. Maybe I'm wrong. This injection pump, it's like part of the, it's like it's part of the housing and everything, and the governor and all that stuff is built into it, and kind of a crazy deal. And then this part here, well, that's kind of weird. I might pull this little inspection plate off and, come on, you piece of shit, quit blinking on me. Pop this plate off and look in there. I don't know if you pop this out and pull the pump out of there, or that's a weird deal. It's not, it's all part of the housing here. See, this is all cast into the block right here. God, these guys got some weird ways of doing things. This little bitty water pump, that's a cute little thing. This must be the oil pump, that's the oil filter. And that must be their oil pump. Looks like it's been changed or something. Pull the alternator off. And a big old nut on the crank dampener there. And of course I went over there and looked around. I can't find any bolts long enough to go through the eyes of the lift and stand attached to the bell housing, so I'm going to have to do it on the ground. No big deal. So I pulled the speed sensor out and I unbolted this here, the throttle assembly. There's no way you're going to get that spring off of there on this end. So I put this plate off here and I can see the spring right there. Throttle spring, throttle return spring. Okay, so we got that part of it off. Oh, there's like an inner and outer spring on that. There sure as hell is. Now that's off. Did that do anything? Not so you'd ever know it. Okay, so the springs are off. That's a pretty wild setup they got going on there. Now as I grab the throttle itself. About this thing. shit in there. Yeah, it should come off there. It's just kind of bound up. I might have to pull that front cover, get that off of there. I think that front cover will come out of there. Now, I've got to get the crank dampener and the water pump off of it. Yeah, what a deal, huh? What a deal. We'll figure it out. Hang in there. 12mm. Zip the water pump off. It's kind of a different. That's weird. Weird. Everything about this thing's weird. It is 10mm. What the hell do I do with it? And the one on the bottom is 12mm. They changed it up on us. Alright, okay. Somewhere holding us up. There it goes. That's cute, isn't it? That's a cute little bugger right there. Let me guess, the crank pulley's pressed on there, I'm sure. Bells. Alright, so we're gonna have to pull this big bolt off here, this big nut off the crankshaft here. I'm sure the damn crank dampener's probably pressed on there. If it's anything like them Toyota engines, it's probably a pain in the ass to get off. Those things suck, trying to get them off them little Toyota, what do they call? I don't even remember what they call them now. I did a couple of time and chain jobs on some of them Toyotas. What a pain in the ass. I don't like this little stuff most of the time, to be honest with you. have any bolts in the center of the timing cover to take that loose. That's crazy. Well, I got the front cover off and I got the crank dampener nut off. I put a pipe wrench right here on this end of the shaft and just cinched up real tight, that way it wouldn't slip on there, and it didn't screw any splines up or anything. Of course, there's nothing spline to it anyway on this particular model, so it wasn't gonna hurt nothing anyway. But then I took 1 3/4 and held it with the pipe wrench and broke it loose, spun it right off, and pulled the dampener off of it. Then I unbolted the timing cover and slid it off. There's just a spring, throttle spring, just goes in right here. There's two springs, an inner and outer spring that hook onto that, and that's about all there is to it. This is your governor assembly on this thing. This thing's pretty simple too, really, the way it's set up. When this speeds up, this weight will shove this back to decrease the fuel. You can see that. And that runs your rack on your pump right there. You see that? Let me shine my flashlight up in there. It's really pretty simple, really. So now we've got to figure out how to get the pump assembly out of here and get it out. But I'm gonna zip these mounts off right quick, get my bell housing off, and we'll get all that stuff off real quick. I called an outfit called Pelican Tractor. They're a Kubota dealer, and he said they could get the paperback book for it. I said, cool. So it's on its way. I probably could have downloaded one off the internet or something too. That's definitely got Loctite on it. Yeah, I don't think this thing's gonna be too bad to do. I went to Wyoming Tech, diesel technology school, a long time ago. I had an old engines instructor, and named Bill Zweig. And old Bill always told us, don't be afraid to tear something apart. Just pay attention when you're doing it so you know how it goes back together. He says, always remember this. Man made it, man can fix it. I always kind of lived by those principles, so. Okay, let's zip these all out of here. Those look like about 17s. That's exactly what they are. Get this thing stripped and get it to the machine shop. Got them all out, don't I? Yeah. Oh shit, there's some way up here on top. I didn't see those. I'm not gonna be able to even get a socket on this. Get an end wrench and get them off. not see those up in there. Kind of hidden a little bit on you. I got a kid called me with a 2000. Well, you remember that transmission job I did on that kid's pickup. He's bringing it back now. The turbo's screwed up in it or something. I wonder if I can get a ratchet up in there. Sure would be a lot nicer to do in a short socket, maybe. Oh, 17. I got a little wobble extension here somewhere. Let's try that route. Oh. Good to me. That one's gonna be a fight to the end. Now if I get a ratchet in there, is there any way? I don't know. Let's try to get that ratchet in there. Alright, we're on it. That's a lot better than messing around with a damn end wrench. Cute little bugger, isn't it? Alright. Alright, there's the bell housing. Alright. She's starting to get pretty naked. All these bell housing bolts back in here. Well, I guess we can get the pan off. So I gotta pull these little idler gear off of here. Let's go get the nut for that crank dampener, and I'll spin that little bugger around and just had a pile of floor fluid and stepped in it and kicked the shit everywhere. Okay, so where is timing marks here? Let's try to eyeball this stuff when we go back together. You got 3 marks right there on that gear. Okay. Alright, so the crank has got 1 mark on it. So, if you were going to time this thing, you would line up the 1 mark with the 1 dot on this gear. Okay, so this gear over here has got 3 marks on it. 3 So you would line it up with that one, and obviously this one's gonna have two, and that one, okay, easy, pretty damn easy. Pretty damn easy. So let's just go ahead and get this turned over to where these two holes will line up, and we get an impact in there. Like that. Now we can get an impact into those two holes there. Zip these two off. Shit, we're cooking right along now. Okay. Oh, that's what fell out of my pockets, my damn phone. I better put it on the bumper or I'm gonna drop it and break the damn thing, sure as shit. Hard on smartphones. Alright. It's got a little, might just leave that on there, I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I'll take it off. And these are going to be 12mm in here. Where is the 12mm? Too thick. Not gonna happen. This thing apart, I got so much shit to do, it's just unbelievable. It's unreal how much crap I've got going on. And I have to get some of this stuff done before I leave. Pull some long hours. Alright, here's our crankshaft. Alright. Cam out of there. Damn it. Butterfingers. Cam over here on this old bench. Right by the Corona beer bottle. Seal assembly there. Okay, and this must be the little oil pump or something here. Yeah, this thing here I'm not so sure about. The injection pump itself. There goes the damn phone again. Alright, let me try to get the light situated where maybe see a little better here maybe. So got all the bolts out of this injection pump assembly. It looks like to me the plungers just pop out of the top that runs off this little injection pump cam. Got the end plate off here. So my thinking is, by looking at it, you know, you're gonna have to pop that off to get the cam out. And it looks like to me this is the return spring on it. Now I'm looking in the hole here, and it looks like it just comes up against that. So let's just go real easy here. Put on my head again, where got both hands. Okay, so I got a little bit of a... Okay, where's my flat bladed screwdriver? Take that back. There it goes. Stiff. Alright, I might have to take that out of there. Let's just take it off. Damaging something there. It's 22 millimeter. Oh yeah, glad we did it. Glad we took it off. Freed it up. That's gonna be the return. Gonna be the return for the rack. Alright, now let's go real nice and easy. Shit, there ain't much to that, guys. It's just the plungers. Here's your 4 plungers. This is your rack right here. And that was that thing we just pulled out of there. That was your rack return. Spring loaded. That's going to go up against that. Shit, these things are actually pretty damn simple. They're actually a lot simpler than a regular injection pump. Pulling one of those apart. Here's our camshaft down in there for our injection pump. So now it looks like to me we just need to get an end wrench and pull these bolts out. And they've got some bearings in here. We're probably gonna have to tap this out of here. Don't know if that's gonna come. No, that snap ring's gonna have to come off, and then this. Gonna have to come off, and the shaft will go through it. So let's get a 12 millimeter. Yeah, looks like we got a 10 millimeter where this fulcrum point is here. That's kind of a neat little deal, actually. The way it's set up, kind of neat. I like tearing stuff apart that I've never done before. It's kind of neat seeing how it works. Don't be afraid of it. Like I said, man, pull it apart, man can fix it. What really annoys me is if you call somebody and you do tear something apart and you just have a question on it, and they act like they're holding the mystery, ancient secrets of the world in their hands, and they're not going to tell you. Well, you'll have to bring it in. Whatever, you know. I can understand it to a certain point if you're calling, digging for information from a shop all the time and you never take any business to them. But I have, you know, ranches that call me that have their own mechanics that still, you know, they send quite a bit of business my way too. But you know, I'm more than happy. Hey, if you want to fix it yourself, I'll help them out as much as I can. You know, lead them, try to walk them through something on the phone. And if I don't know, I don't know. Just look, I don't know. This thing's gonna come right out of there once we get this off. This actually is not that bad to do. It's kind of neat the way they got it set up. I guess if your injection pump goes out, you change that plunger assembly right there. Or if the cam goes flat or something like that, just you have to go through all this to do it. Kind of sucks. Okay. Oh shoot, there we go, there we go. He's coming out of there. Alright, so you don't have to pull that little shit. That's to keep it. It goes around there that holds the bearing in. Let's keep all this stuff kind of straightened out. Let's look at it real close before we decide to. That just goes around here on this side, kind of the bearing retainer. Huh. Yeah, that speeds up. This is kind of, you know, it's gonna throw this out to run your rack. That's kind of neat. It'll go right there. Shit, that ain't too bad at all, guys. Keep my bolts kind of straightened out. Go set this on the bench. Now we're ready to start pulling some pistons and rods and all that stuff out of there. Let's set this over here. Well guys, I'm gonna go get me a bite to eat and I'll be back and we'll zip the pan off and I'm gonna pull this little oil pump off. And we'll just take the connecting rods caps loose and slide the pistons out of her and flop it over and pull the crank out of it. Center of the machine shop. Alright, so let's zip the oil pump off. 17 millimeter, about like these guys like 17 millimeters. Oh man, where is my 17 millimeter? 16, 22. Got stuff all screwed up here. It's 17. I bet right there. Drive gear off of there, and we got some 10 millimeters there. Zip those off of there. Alright. Is that key got to come off of there? Apparently the key has to come out of there. Maybe a little. If I get a pair of needle nose and tap the key out of there or something. I think that whole thing would come off of there, what do you think? Yeah, I was gonna say that shaft is independent. It's not run off anything else. That whole damn thing should come out there. All right, and our oil pump off. Might as well just pull this little Just so if the machine shop gets a bunch of metal slinging around when they're boring, it doesn't get into a feed hole or something, and plug a feed hole up, and might as well just go ahead and pull her off. Why is this one bolt here not wanting to go back in? I see. That is a threaded hole to hold the pump house together. Shit. Alright, so 12mm on those. Pop that off of there. And then we're ready to pull the pan. All right. I'm sure there's a feed hole or something somewhere. The little notch goes that way. Oh, I see, it's feeding right through the middle of it right here. All right. We're ready to pull the pan off. Those are all 12s, it looks like. Let's get her lifted up in the air and we'll get the zipping. Maybe a little engine, but it's still a lot of work. Tearing everything apart on it. Oh, their pan bolts are 14mm. Wow. What's going on here? Why am I not getting on that one? Do I need to get a extension or what? Paint on there or what? What do you think, girl? Oh, it's bolts screwed up for some reason. Extension there, that ain't gonna work. Okay, where is my extension at? Got a 1/2 inch thread extension laying here. Here it's on the ground. Oh. I know it's fall, winter time. You don't like being in the shop, cooped up. Damn it. That bolt's all screwed up. The socket won't go in there. Alright. Get our one screwed up bolt. Get our hammer and beat the socket on it. Maybe. There it goes. One hand on the pan in case it decides to fall off. Most of the time you gotta beat them off too. And that's what the case is gonna be here. I don't even know if it's got a gasket or if it's silicone on there. A lot of these newer engines, everything's siliconed on and no gaskets on them. Well, looked like it was coming off. There she goes. Drip, drip, drip. That's never ending on an engine job. A little dripping all over. At least you're not underneath it. Well, not for right now. We'll be here in a little bit. Well, pickup screen and tube's gonna have to come off. Alright, now I think we can lay this thing back down, find a pallet, lay it down, flop it over, and knock all the parts out of it. Oh, there's my coat. I was looking for that the other day. I throw that in the cab of the service truck there. It's getting to where I'm going to need it here pretty regularly. I'm going to be getting called out to these feedlots and shit in the middle of the winter and working on their loaders and all that shit. Freezing my balls off. Pickup tubes hitting there a little bit. I thought I could get it. Alright, what are we gonna do there? Do something with that pickup. Might have to pull that pickup tube off there before I set her down. Yeah. End up bending it or screwing it up. Yeah, let's just lift her up and zip that pickup tube off of there. My flashlight at? One bolt right there. Shit, there ain't much to that anyway. There ain't much to that, Duke. Go. Like I said, there ain't much to that. Now let's try this again. Set her down. Pallet ain't too good. Alright. Take this sender unit out for the oil pressure switch. So we'll roll it over, we don't break it. We'll have this thing just pretty well bare stripped, ready for the machine shop. Swing the old crane out of the way so I don't hit myself in the head with it constantly. Ain't nothing there, my wife says. Don't have to worry about it. Shouldn't hurt. Alright. Where is... That'll work right there. Yeah, when that book shows up there, Kubota, here in Klamath, hopefully we'll have her, hopefully, he said it'd take about a week to get them, and then we'll have a book to put it back together for all our torque specs and all that stuff, make sure we're getting everything put back together correctly. Yeah, let's just roll her over here. And of course there's all the water going out of it that was in the... Huh. How does the crankshaft? The crankshaft doesn't come out like a... or does it? Oh, I see. Oh, I see. I think. Does that come off? That crankshaft comes out the end. That is the craziest shit I've ever seen. Okay. That is crazy, crazy, crazy. Now I've seen it all. By God, I've seen it all now. Where's my big wrench? It's turning the crank with. Yeah, that damn crank comes out the end. That's crazy. Yeah, let's see if these little boogers are numbered or anything. See if they're on the cam side or the non-cam side. And they got a bunch of numbers on them, but no, I mean the caps aren't really 4667. 4. I see they got alpha numbers on them like a Cummins. Cummins does that. We use rod cap numbers. They got to match your rod on that. Little bearings look good. Hmm. 4666 and 4667. So that's probably going to be 4665. And that's going to be 4668. I'm thinking. And the numbers face the non-cam side of the engine. Okay. Now I'm going to have to roll it over and flip those two out of there. Let's go ahead and use the crankshaft to get them most of the way out. So what I'm thinking there, get the crank, force them out. Alright, where's my hammer at? I'll just use the handle of it here and tap her on the rod end. Well, that's not gonna happen. The damn hammer's too big. I forgot we're not really dealing with the big stuff here. It's not really wanting to come out of there. something smaller than that to get in there and kind of tap it out of there. That thing's only got 300 hours on it. That's all it's got. They've already screwed it up. Alright, got that cute little thing out of there. Oh yeah. Look at that, guys. She's screwed up pretty good. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that nice? Amazing it didn't stick. Ain't even no rings left over here. Got clear into the crown. Clear gone over there. You done good on this one. So that's 4666. So let's match the rod cap up with that. Put it back on there. Alright, let's get the other one out of there now. I think that was the worst one, I think. Yeah, this one's coming out a lot easier. Yeah, it's all screwed up too. Look at the crown on that thing. Both sides. Sure gouged the shit out of it right there, didn't it? Wow. Amazing it would still even turn over. It didn't just completely seize her up. Okay, let's turn these other two where we can get to them. They're already there. We'll get these out, and then we gotta clean all the damn mess up as usual. So my right is just 4665. That's just 0406. I was wrong. Wrong. I thought I was going to be smart there for a minute. What number is this one? 1528. Alright. Tap them out of there. Nope, that one didn't. Didn't come out all the way. These don't look too bad here. So this is number 0406. This is the 1528 one. You can see the number. Oh, they do have, wait a second, they do have the number right there. Oh, never mind. They all say 1 on the cap, and they all say I had an N14 Cummins one time that somebody had put together, and there's no way they could have torqued the rod cap. I in-framed the engine, and I noticed on that one rod, the alpha numbers. They didn't match. The rod didn't match the alpha number on the cap that when I took it off. All the rest of them matched. And they were tight, but they weren't real tight. You know, they weren't torqued down. There was just no way, because as soon as when I went back together with that engine, every time I tried to torque that down, it would bind up on me. I ended up putting a new connecting rod in there, one that matched. This one here looks fine too. It's number 2 and 3. Alright. Now let's get the crank out of her, huh? So that'll be interesting. So it looks like you got some kind of bolt here in the middle holding it. Almost a 15 or 16 millimeter. 14. So every damn thing else on this thing. I'll have one in here though. And then take this bearing retainer assembly off, which looks like they're all going to be 12 millimeter. The chrome socket, because that's what we're going to need. Get that loose. Yeah, I got a 6.4 power stroke coming. Turbo's out of it. I hate 6.4 power strokes. Worst thing in the world to work on. So, forgive me my ignorance on this one, guys. I've never torn one of these apart in my life. Never. So, wow, they're just like little thrust. That's crazy. The way this thing's set up. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I've never torn one of these things apart. I told those guys, and, well, them guys know me well enough. They know that I'll figure it out. So, and those actually look like some kind of torque to yield. I bet those are torque to yield or something, the way those are all spiraled in there, or stretch or something. Huh. Alright, so, the seal retainer off. That's just slid right off there, and there's a bronze gasket holding that on. Okay, so what's holding the old crankshaft in there? Apparently nothing, huh? It's moving. Make sure we're not hitting the piston cooling nozzle or something laying down in there. Is there any piston cooling nozzles in it? I don't see any. Get a rubber mallet and tap on it a little bit. That's a pretty wild design, isn't it? Now let's see here, what do we got going on? How does that one come out of there? How does that work? Oh, it comes out in a certain spot. See the holes in the case, and those webs all got to be in a certain spot. that to come out of there. And then bearings just kind of float around on the crankshaft. Yeah, that's crazy, huh? You gotta zip those bearings off to get it the rest of the way out. Well, I sure wouldn't think so. That's a wild design, isn't it? Those bearings, that's your bearing there, and then that just holds it into the case. That's crazy. Boy, somebody was thinking out of the box when they thought of that. They were definitely thinking out of the box when they thought of that design. Holy cow, I've never seen nothing like that before in my life. Set her down here all nice and easy. Make sure it don't roll off the bench. Come back tomorrow with a broken crankshaft. That'd really piss me off. Well, guys, there she is. I understand how it all comes apart now. Pretty damn certain I know how it goes back together. Kind of tricky getting that out of there. It's got a bearing there in the end here for the crank, kind of like a cam bearing. See, right there, that's kind of like a cam bearing. Boy, I know I didn't do that. Look how scratched up and beat up that is. Machine shop now. Get her bored. This thing's only got 300 hours on it. That's it. It's new. And they've already screwed it up. That's what happens when you run them out of water. And the thing is, the guy told me they ran it out of water multiple times because they wouldn't fix the damn radiator that was leaking on it. And they dragged this thing out to these hay fields on these washboard roads. There ain't no suspension on the trailers on them air compressors, and it just beats the living piss out of them. You know, rattles the tanks apart on the radiator and just destroys them. Well, okay guys, there it is. Yeah, a home job is not going to take that out. It's going to have to be like 20 over or something. Fix that. Alright guys, well, hopefully you learned something, because I did. I've never torn a Kubota v2403 engine apart before, and now I have. So, be a later video when we get the parts back from the machine shop and rebuild kit. And we'll rebuild this sucker. Till then.